Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome into our March edition of 7 Minute Demos. I'm so excited to bring together four companies today that are going to share with us XtendLive, Campfire, Concierge, and Chance. We're going to talk about what these tools do for the event industry, and I'm going to get my timer ready. We're going to get our 7 minutes on, and we have 7 minutes to see the tech. 3 minutes to ask questions. You can ask all of your questions in the chat and I will facilitate getting those answers. And then we have time left over in the end. We can, of course, answer deeper and more questions. So, my XtendLive team, Mike, are you ready to be my first victim?
I certainly am. I love that you phrased it that way. It makes it very comfortable for me to get going here.
Amazing. Well, welcome, Mike. Tell us a little bit about XtendLive. What is it? And I'm not going to set your clock quite yet. Just tell me what the company is.
Yeah, super. So XtendLive is a new offering into the market for digital events management. And so I'll go through a quick intro before we get into the demo. But we basically spun out of a company called Pro Exhibits, which many of you may know from the physical event space. We build a lot of the booths for trade shows. During the pandemic, the company pivoted to focus on digital events as well. So we've gone from kind of those big, heavy, immersive 3D type of events to our new offering on the market, XtendLive, which is much more lightweight. Our mantra is simple, it's impactful, and I'm really excited to be able to show it to you.
Amazing. All right, 7 minutes starts now. Let's see it, Mike.
Alrighty, let me share my screen, which doesn't look like I can do.
Oh, sorry, my fault. Let me stop mine. Now you can.
Restart my timer.
Restarting.
Super. So I just have a few very brief slides to go through at the beginning here before we get into the demo. Like I mentioned to you, we have spun out of a company called Pro Exhibits, which has been an events leader in the physical space for 30 plus years. When we built Extend Live, we really focused on three main pillars from a philosophy. And so looking at everything that's on the market right now, understanding how important digital events are to the portfolio of event marketers. We really wanted to make sure that what we built was simple. We want it to be as self-service as possible. You shouldn't have to have a PhD in digital events management to be able to build a compelling event. We wanted to make it engaging. So everyone is super bored having to come to webinars all the time. What can we do to make it so that it's a much more engaging experience for the communities who are coming to these events? How do you actually show them a good time at these events versus just having them come, listen to someone drone on and then leave, and then impactful. So obviously one of the huge benefits of digital events is the data that you can get out of it. How are you measuring how successful your content is? How are you building relationships that extend and endure after the events itself? So going into Extend Live, we're going to start here from the view of the events manager. So we're going to go through three different segments of the digital event experience, creating the event itself and how quick that is, going into the events, understanding what you can do as an attendee at these events, and then post hoc, looking at the analytics suite that we offer, and then also understanding that any of the data you see while viewed natively in Extend Live can also be exported into whatever system you're using from a CRM perspective or otherwise. So if we click here on the demo, this will load and you'll see you're dropped into the screen where the event manager can actually set up their event. And we've broken it into five very simple, very straightforward steps here on the left-hand rail. They are in a logical order, but you don't have to follow this order. We don't put you on that tight of guardrails. If you want to skip around between registration and setting up your event site, coming back to event basics, you have the freedom to do that. So going through what goes into creating an event on Extend Live, first and foremost, event basics. When does it start? When does it end? What time zone do you want to localize on? How do you want to brand it? We offer white labeling. We don't want to have just a boring experience here. So you can white label for yourself across the entire platform. From a registration perspective, this is a super powerful tool because it's integrated into the platform itself. So a couple of things you can do with the registration form. First and foremost, it's WYSIWYG. So what you see here is what you get. As you update these things in real time, you're able to see what those updates look like in real time. You can make this as detailed or as straightforward as you want. The more detailed you make it, the richer the data that comes out of your events will be at the end. So if you want to have a really tight profile of everybody who attended, you're able to do that. What are they like? What were they interested in? But also because we have the wrapper of the event itself, and this isn't just a single session thing you come to online, we want people to interact with each other. We really want to foster a sense of networking as you come online and attend these events. So whatever data gets put into this registration form, you can also use as an attendee to sort, filter, and start conversations with other folks who are in your event based on that criteria. So if one of your questions was, what's your favorite color? And you got into the event, you'd be able to sort by everybody who said red and start a red chat. Hey, I like red too. Cool. Let's talk about the color red. So a really powerful tool here that can be as simple or as detailed as you'd like. The agenda. So this is what people are coming to your events to see. This is how you build out what the sessions are. We allow infinite sessions within XtendLive, although we feel like our sweet spot is more of the webinar plus type of style where you have 3 to 5 sequential events or parallel events going on that folks can choose to attend. We offer 2 different types of session experience. So the webinar experience, which is more like someone who's presenting out to an audience. You give them the ability to interact with chats and polls and Q&A, but they can't turn their camera on, they can't unmute, they're just listening. And the video conference, which is something that's a pretty big differentiator for us versus other platforms. It's more like this. It allows you to have more of a breakout or a roundtable style discussion within the events itself. Resources and content. So we want to make sure that you're able to transmit as much information both online and offline to your users as you want to. So if you want to give slides and have people able to download those, you're more than welcome to. They're able to access those here and download them. If you want to include links, and those could be sponsored links, or they could be links to pre-recorded videos or product specs if you are having a product showcase, all that can be included here as well. All of this is tracked, so you're able to see through analytics who's clicking what and when, and how many things are being downloaded, what the most impactful resources are, etc. And then finally, the event site. So this is your public-facing event site where people will come to register for and then ultimately attend your events. And we've built this widget-based. So if you want to add a countdown clock, if you want to add a video, if you want to add text field, if you want to add speaker bios, it's a very straightforward process. When we've timed this with our users, you can set up an event from start to finish in 10 minutes. So really leaning into that simplicity of the platform, making sure that folks are capable of doing what they need to as easily as possible. The event experience itself is very powerful as well. So you can see once this loads, this is the screen that attendees will come to once they enter your events. And everything that you built previously now appears here. So here's your agenda. You're able to click here and join a session when the appropriate time comes. If you are attending, you're able to see all other attendees. And then just like we talked about with the registration form, you're able to slice and sort and filter this information based on whatever has gone into the registration field. So again, it's pretty powerful to be able to have people come, not just listen to a speaker, but also come for a common purpose and understand who else is in there with you. So we expect people to spend a lot of time here in this event hub when they're not in the actual session experience itself. And then finally, going back to the view of the event organizer analytics. So I'm going to pull up some analytics from an old event that was hosted so you can see it in a way that's a little bit more filled out than you can here. So if we go and we look at activity dating back to that December date when this event was, you can see when people actually registered for your event and attended. If you clicked into the data here, you would see who clicked on which resources, which links were accessed when. So you can build a really detailed profile of the folks who came to your event. And then again, all this information is exportable to whatever system you want to use. So it's a very simple, very straightforward platform. We've really leaned into the simplicity, the engaging, the impactful aspects of it. Just one last pitch here with my last 20 seconds. We are rebuilding our advisory board. And so I would love for any folks who are on this call who do digital events and think that this might be something you'd be interested in helping shape the future of, we'd love to have you on board. It's a very low commitment, 1 to 2 hours per month. You get a free license to XtendLive. We help you build your first event on the platform, which is something that usually comes with our premium license. Let's work together and help you build the product that you want to use in the future.
I will say, I'm going to just advocate here that this advisory board listens. So I got to participate in the first round or two. Mike, this has come a long way. This is really, really, really nice looking tool. So here are my questions. You said infinite sessions, ideally 3 to 5 is kind of the right event. The challenge that you have when you're running an event and you have a bunch of Zooms is that you can't record all of those concurrent sessions. Can each of the sessions be recorded in yours?
It is a great question. And right now, currently, no, but pre-recorded sessions are on our roadmap for Q2. That's feedback that
Okay.
we've gotten time and again from our users. So we will have that ability and then the ability to embed those pre-recorded sessions within the agenda itself once they finish recording.
Okay, awesome. And then webinar versus roundtable, those are the two options for format. Webinar is one way you have one speaker. I know that some of the tools allow you to like promote other people in onto the webinar if they raise your hand. Do we do that too, or do we just come in and that one is one way?
For right now, it's one way. We're
Okay.
evaluating additional functionality within the webinar to be able
Mhm.
to spotlight, bring people on stage, and then demote them back into the audience after they've done their Q&A process. Right now, the Q&A we have is text-based, but
Okay.
we'd like to see if folks find a compelling case for it, the ability to highlight and spotlight folks in the webinar as well.
Okay, beautiful. And then on the one that's roundtable, is there a limitation? How many people can be there?
Only based on the type of subscription that you sign up for. And so the only differentiator we have between our different prices, you have a free version, which allows you to have up to 10 in those sessions. A standard allows up to 100. And then we have a premium and an enterprise that scales from there. So we help right size the platform for how many folks you expect to have in each one of these.
Beautiful. And then my final question is, what is that pricing model? Is it an annual subscription? Is it a per event? How does that work?
Yeah, we try to make it as straightforward as possible. I personally hate when you have to do all the mental math of how many folks you're going to have and how many events you're going to do. So it's very straightforward. You have the free, the standard, the premium, and the enterprise, and that will give you unlimited events for an annual subscription. So you sign up for 1 year, you can run as many events as you want to. You can run a certain number of them concurrently based on which model you choose as well. But that's it. It's a 1 year license. You can do infinite events within there. You can have up to the cap of attendees in each one of those infinite events based on the level that you've subscribed at. And there's no limitations in terms of number of sessions.
Beautiful. Thanks so much. We'll hang out for me, Mike. We'll bring you back up at the end and get everybody in touch with you that wants to reach back out. Thanks so much. That was
Absolutely.
our
Thank you.
7 minute demo. Good job. Hey, Greg, are you ready?
I am ready. Hi, Liz. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, you sound really light. I don't know if that's just me.
Oh, how about now? Is that a little better?
A little better. Yes.
All right. I just got to project. I'm outdoors. Forgive me.
No
Um,
worries.
okay, cool. So I can go ahead and share my screen here.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this. So we're going to talk about Chance. What does Chance actually do?
Sure. So can you see this okay?
Yes.
All right. So, hi, I'm Greg Lunt. I am a co-founder of Chance. We are a voice-driven introductions platform. So you can think of it kind of like audio speed networking. If you've ever used Clubhouse or Spaces on X, it's kind of like that in that we're audio powered. There's no video, except that instead of placing you in a group call, we actually put you in a
Greg, it sounds like
series.
it's not just me having trouble hearing you. It's everybody else is saying it too. Is there maybe switch microphone maybe on the bottom left?
Yeah. Um, is it that I'm low or you just
There
can't
you
hear
go.
me?
That's better. But yes, this is coming through very low. I turned my volume up all the way, so we'll give it a try now.
Okay, can you guys hear me a little better now?
Yes.
Okay, apologies
All
for
right,
that.
time starts now. Go.
Okay, cool. So I'm Greg Lunt. I'm the co-founder of Chance. We're a voice-driven introductions platform. So you can think of it like audio speed networking. So we introduce people in a series of short, timed, one-on-one audio calls. So there's no video, and there's a lot of benefits to that, which we'll talk about in a minute. But basically, I wanted to take you through the way this actually works and bring you into an event. One of the main use cases for this in terms of event management and engagement is having people join these speed networking events in advance of attending in person. And so that way they're able to start meeting people that are going to be there when they arrive. They'll already have started building some relationships, potentially prospecting clients, scheduling meetings, and not kind of going in there bumbling around looking at name tags and having to cold approach people. This takes a lot of the edge off by having the opportunity to meet people in advance. And so the way that it works as a user, we would create what we call a community for your event. In this case, we created a club Ichi, and you would sign in with your LinkedIn account as a user. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. This uses the official LinkedIn API. We have access to only your picture, your name, and your email address. And so what that does by signing in through this URL is it puts me into a brand new account where I can only see, in this case, the Club Ichi events. And so I want to reload this page. The timing, it should be AM here. So I got to adjust the
live demos. Go, Greg, go.
Yeah, we got you though. So it should be AM instead of PM. That's what it was. So let's refresh this. Okay, so now we're in a live event. So I'm going to go ahead and join this event. Okay. So the first thing you see is an icebreaker question. This is something that's optional to use inside your calls. You'll see where it's placed in a minute. So I want to know what's one trend in events that I think is overrated. Okay, save and continue. So now it's going to ask for my browser permissions. This is just to get access to my audio. And now I've joined an event and I'm automatically connected to somebody that is also in this event. So I have 20 seconds to connect to my first call. So I'm going to join. And it looks like I'm connecting with Mohammed, who is actually my co-founder, and he's on the other end of the line here. Hey, Mo, can you hear us? I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. I might have forgot to share my sound in Zoom.
We can't, but we believe you.
Okay. Yeah, so Mo's on the other end there. That was my fault. I should have clicked that. I'm going to mute so he doesn't hear me over the phone. But basically what you can see here is his picture was pulled from LinkedIn. We don't share last names until a connection is made. We see his location. We see mutual interests that we have. I filled that out as part of my profile creation, as did Mo. And it kind of just coordinates what we have in common. And then here's the icebreaker question that Mo chose. And then here's the one that I chose. So these are just here as options to be able to have jump off points for conversation and see if we have a connection. So you'll notice we had about 4.5 minutes for this call. And so as this chimes down, we found that this time period is long enough where you're actually able to vet somebody in terms of your chemistry with them, if there's overlaps in your business, if you have any interest in booking time with them, either online or at the event in person. But it's short enough where if you get with someone that's not necessarily your cup of tea, you can kind of power through just a few minutes of time. So while this runs down, I want to take you into the manager area. And so there's a few things you can do as the actual organizer. So number one, this is the event that we're in right now. If you want to create a new event, it's very simple. You just add a name. So just Ichi test event, and we'll set the time and date. So I'll just set it for a couple hours from now and create event. And that's done. So now you'll see that our community has 2 events. One's going on right now and one is in the future. These will be the things that show up on the dashboard for anyone that logs in through that original landing page that I logged in through with my LinkedIn. And so it's very simple. Your only job is basically to now communicate that this is happening and provide your URL, and people will go in and they'll see that this event is live. One other thing that you can do other than manage your events is actually manage the members in your community. So I've entered a few accounts into the Club Ichi event, or the community, where you can do things like you can export this as CSV, for instance, and look at some of the data around your users. So this is kind of like when did they join, full name, email, how many events they've done, total calls that they've had actually in the community, and things like that. And there's other data that we can add if you have any suggestions. So this is an easy way to kind of manage your community, manage your members, manage your actual events. And so we're now in the call here. We have about 1:30 left. One other thing that I should note, so if I'm a user, we saw that this event is live and we're in that event in the other tab in the browser. But if there's this future event, for instance, this one that I just created, you can go ahead and register for this event. And what that does is it'll give me a confirmation here, and it also sends me an email automatically with a calendar invite. So this is now added to my calendar for March 11th at my local time. So whatever you set up your time zone as your account, it'll show right here as the local time. So we got about a minute left here in the call. One of the reasons that we use audio instead of video, video is, everyone has Zoom fatigue right now. We're on a lot of these calls. They take a lot of energy. With audio, what it actually does is it creates a lot more privacy, comfort, and flexibility for people. You can do it on the go. So this is all done in the browser, as you'll notice. There's nothing to download from the App Store. You can do it on your mobile phone. You can do it on your computer, Safari, Chrome, Edge, whatever you're using. And there's actually science out of Yale that says that voice-only communication elicits higher rates of empathy than multi-sense communication. So when we're on these video calls, we kind of have a lot of sensory input. I'm judging your body language, whether consciously or subconsciously. I'm looking at, your micro expressions, maybe my own self-consciousness about myself on camera. We remove all these distractions, and now all of a sudden we're just tied directly into the conversation itself and determining whether there's a match here. So this timer is about to run out for my call and Mo. So this ends. And now I get taken to the next screen, which is basically just rating Mo number 1. This is just for my own records, just so I remember, okay, I enjoyed this call or not. And then I'm asked if I want to match with Mo. And this is key because if I say yes and Mo says yes, what the system's going to do is share our contact information automatically. And so I say yes. And now I'm taken in right into my next call. So these are back-to-back-to-back calls in this event. I'm not actually going to answer this call because I want to take you guys, I only have a minute here or two left. And so so we're going to do this call. We have a second call. We say yes or no. Third call, yes or no. Fourth call, yes or no, right? Then the event ends, okay? And I get placed on this screen. So this is a past event that I've done. I made a match with Marwan and Megan. And so I can immediately see their LinkedIn accounts right here, which was their method of contact. And then if I click more, I can actually go in and see an AI-driven call summary that recaps exactly what I talked about in the call with them. And this is a real call that I had, and we really talked about this stuff. And so this is really valuable for posterity when you're meeting lots of people to go back and refresh your memory. Also, after the event, you'll get an email with the same information, with the name, who where they're from, their connection, and a link to the summaries. You'll get an analytics report with all the participants, some data, and then, the feedback that you were getting in the event, things of that nature.
All right. So that was your 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
That was super, super awesome. Here's my question. Are these random or curated based on interest that they selected?
So right now, the way we have it is that anyone who joins the event itself, that's enough of a time point where it's kind of randomized. We just form a queue of who's in the system. And that way they're just connected. We do show the mutual interest, but because the events aren't necessarily at critical mass for any given event, it's difficult to tie that into the algorithm at this stage. We don't think that's as valuable. Just the fact that they're part of this Club Ichi event or whatever your event is enough to just pair them up and see if they have any sort of chemistry.
Do you have any information on how many people are actually using the little icebreakers, or are they just there more as a comfort crutch?
Yeah, I mean, it's the full gamut. So I do a lot of user interviews, and basically, we see that most people don't use them, but some people, they go to them right away. Some people halfway through, they're like, so let's go to the questions, right? So it's kind of everything. They're there as an option. We feel strongly about not micromanaging people's conversations. We just want to put them in an environment where they have options and then see if they can hit it off naturally.
And then do we set those icebreakers and they can choose from them, or were they putting them in? I don't remember.
Yes. So as the organizer, you can set your icebreakers either as a community default. So every time you create a new event, it's the same icebreakers, or you can do it on an event by event basis if you wanted to help theme those.
Okay. And then question, Wi-Fi required. You need to have some sort of connection, I imagine, but it can be cell or anything else?
Correct. Yeah. Internet connection. And, it's very high quality, robust audio. You just need to be on your browser, on your phone, or your computer. Like I said,
okay, so it works with mobile, but it's not like a dial-in. It would need to be through the app or through the website, I mean.
Yeah, you just go to usechance.com/whatever your community is, and then you'll be able to just hit join and you'll be good to go.
Perfect. And then it was the LinkedIn login, right? Does it have to be a single sign-on through LinkedIn, or can it be email sign-on?
We're adding additional logins right now, but right now we just use LinkedIn because it was kind of the lowest hanging fruit for creating these professional connections.
Okay.
But we are adding email and others.
Beautiful. And then time bound. So you said you're going back to back to back on the calls. Do you set up that we want this to happen for 30 minutes and they're going to have 5-minute calls, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the one thing we're pretty confident about is the length of the calls, but the length of the event and the number of calls, that's customizable by you as well.
Okay. How would you recommend, like, people put it in blocks? Like, so for this time, that way people aren't just stuck on 12 hours of 5-minute meetings.
Yeah, so we would set that before the event and you would communicate that to your folks. So, our default is 20 minutes and 4 calls, and we deal with a lot of busy entrepreneurs and creators and operators that use this, and they actually report that it gives them energy rather than a lot of these calls that kind of take energy from them. And it's kind of a nice break in their day. But if people are paying for this, maybe as an upsell to your event, as a speed networking ticket, and maybe they're expecting more, or you want to run multiple events, you can extend it 40 minutes, 8 calls, like whatever actually makes sense, and we can get creative with that.
I love it. Thanks so much, Greg. This was a great demo. Really appreciate it. And hang on the line if you can to the end, and then we'll bring you back up and do some more Q&A.
Thanks, Liz.
Thank you. All right, Shane, are you ready?
Yes. Hi, everyone. So, great. I'm Shane, the Director of Business Development here at Kampfire. And today I'm excited to show you how Kampfire transforms event content into a powerful engagement tool. I also want to mention, I do have an exciting announcement at the end of my demo. That's probably why I'm not using a slideshow for the beginning, and you'll see what it is a little bit later. With that being said, I wanted to start off by asking everyone, when was the last time you received your photos after an event ended? Well, think about that. Event photos are one of the most valuable assets you capture, whether they're delivered at the end of the event or in real time. But what if you could do even more with them? What if instead of just storing them in a cloud or a gallery link, you could turn them into real-time engagement branding tools? At Campfire, we saw an opportunity not only to streamline the way event photos are distributed, but also to maximize impact during the attendees' heightened states of engagement. The best content is captured at the events, when the excitement is fresh, when attendees are engaged, and when brands can maximize their reach. But right now, most event content just sits in a folder, or it's sent out as a gallery link for the attendees to find their own content, if they even get it, and instead of driving ROI. So how does Campfire fix this? Well, let me share my screen here. So all right, let me know when you can see it.
Coming up.
All right, can everyone see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So at Campfire, we believe that everything that I just mentioned can be completely changed. And as you can see, here's what the attendee experiences when using our platform. At Campfire, we streamline event photos into our AI-powered system in real time. Instead of waiting days, your event gallery is optimized instantly. Attendees will only receive the photos that they're interested in. Let me show you. So I've landed on the page, scroll through my photos. Hopefully I find a good one. All right. So I upload a photo of myself. What the system does now is it goes through all the photos that were uploaded by either the photographer or the event manager, sorts through them, and provides me back with the photos where I appear in, plus photos that the event manager has selected. So all of this happens on a branded landing page, giving you the full control over the attendee journey. So this page isn't just for photos. It's an engagement hub. Here's where you can serve things like smart CTAs, lead capture if I had turned it on to get my photos. You can collect feedback and run post-event surveys, where we've seen engagement rates soar from 5 up to 30%. Now, instead of attendees just looking at their photos, we drive them to take action, whether it's sharing, signing up for a future event, or engaging with sponsors. Now, with all that being said, I want to show you this new feature that we've decided to release. But before, I will just say, here's a feature, show all photos, that was actually provided before from Club Ichi as some advice for us to add. I think we're taking it now one step further, and I'll show you what I mean. So I uploaded a photo today and I received back my photos. I would like to share this. And that's where we have a new button, which is our AI Magic Share. So this is our new feature. And I want to make it clear that this is the first time we're announcing it. It has been not announced anywhere else yet. It's called Magic Share. It's a revolutionary feature designed to make social sharing effortless. Right now, many attendees love getting their event photos if they actually are able to, but most don't actually share them because they don't know what to say or they don't have the time to curate a post. AI Magic Share solves this by automatically generating engaging, personalized, and unique captions for attendees, making social posts as easy as one click. This means more shares, more visibility, and even bigger impact of your event without any extra effort from your team. So let me show you how it works. So I click it. I now am asked to provide a bit of information because how this works is taking information from 3 sources. We don't want to be just the typical chat GPT where you can say, give me a post. And how do we avoid that? We take information from the event manager in our backend. We take the actual image itself and we ask the attendee for some data. Combining that all together, well, let's show you what it does. So I want to post on LinkedIn and I'm feeling like I'm in a funny mood. While that's generating, as you can see, you've already entered our waiting room. And in our backend system, which if I have time, I will show it, but you're able to choose any type of experiences here, meaning I could roast the attendee or I could offer something to be comedic. Wonderful, it's been generated, the post. If you read this post right now, I did choose South by Southwest as my example, so it assumes I'm at this event. But if anywhere in my picture there was another name of an event, it would pick that up. So if you read this, you can see I didn't provide a single piece of data to the system at all, and it outputs the system really based on what I spoke about in my image, everything I've done, and then it's as easy as copy the caption, download photo, and share to LinkedIn. We did decide not to go for the approach of asking for you to give us access to your LinkedIn. We went the other approach, which is one extra step, but we do find it much nicer that you don't have to give us access to your LinkedIn. And with all that, I want to explain why this is so important. Because what we found is one of the biggest challenges we found in event marketing is that attendees hardly share their event photos. If you do, it's about 5 to 10% of attendees post their event moments. But with us, we're hoping to get that number up to 50%. With Kampfire's AI-powered tools, we make this possible by crafting social-ready content that actually attendees want to post. I'll be honest, I've tested it and I've choose ChatGPT. I don't post from there because it doesn't really give me the essence. We also allow you to add your own touch if you want. So it's not just what we say is what you'll post. And I mean, that brings me pretty much around to the end. I will go back to this landing page. And I mean, how we got here, you can see this is just a simple type of design we offer, but we offer many types of campaigns, whether it's for attendees, exhibitors, VIPs. You can create as many campaigns off a single set of photos. I didn't want to bog everyone down with the back end intricacies, but it's as simple as 5 minutes to get what I have in front of you. Upload the photos, send out the landing page, however you want, QR code, website, embed it on your website, link, or put it into a mobile app. We offer all functionality, very easy to find. And at the end of the day, we find that it solves that problem. You now get to your event, you actually get your photos, but you have something to do with those photos. And it extends beyond that. We've done a partnership with basically another company that is called Walls.io. And if you think about it, what you saw in my post right now, it also included a hashtag. That means whatever's shared with us, if you use another partner like Walls, it goes straight up into social walls by automatic. And I mean, that's a different style of approach when I want to present Kampfire today. I usually go into the back end. This time I wanted to show the attendee journey and really show that value of what it can bring. I mean, as you can see at this heightened states of engagement, you really can get a lot of information from the users, whether it's the survey, you can condition it or not. When I get my photos, I can actually make it, I have to put an email or password to get my photos. So we cover many factors from privacy, but most importantly, once everything is done, anything that's done on this landing page is tracked with a nice high-level overview, a complete stat page that shows you everything about the event, and an individual level view. So you can dig into each person one by one to see what they uploaded, what they downloaded, what buttons they clicked, did they answer survey questions, and we make it easy to compile that data into one source and make decisions based on that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shane. Okay. So having been a user of this tool, I know this, but I want to make sure everybody understands. Those 9 photos that you just showed up there, those were ones that you as, well, 2 options. One, you as the organizer can give and everyone gets them. And then the other one was you loaded your picture. And so it's only showing you pictures that you're in. Is that correct?
Correct. So yes, it basically takes the photos of myself plus the event manager's photos. The reason being, you might not capture everyone's photo, so you don't want them to receive nothing.
Right. Okay. And I remember that the challenge that we had was that we had 20 people each loading hundreds of photos each. So we literally had thousands of photos up there. And for us to go through and actually say yes to every single one that we wanted everyone to get, you've eliminated that and made the option of just show everybody everything, right?
Correct. So you're able to show everyone everything, but more than that, to streamline that process. So it's not as many screens until you get to the ability to, I've got my photos, I had a great trip, let me just give them to the event host. Click of a button, upload into the system.
Okay. And if I have a conference and I've got 5 professional photographers out there taking pictures, they can use this as a hub and put all of their pictures in. And then I, as the organizer, can select which of those I want everyone to see, right?
Correct. As easy as adding the name and the email of the photographer. He'll get an email of how to upload the photos, which is the same steps as an attendee. Super easy. Just drag and drop all the photos into the system. And that streamlines that process where you don't have to go find the photos from the photographer, bring them back and upload them yourself. It'll be done automatically.
And then I love the idea that now you're trying to help people share their photos, because that's the thing. People take pictures, but maybe they don't know how to share or they don't know what to do. But I also like the one of holding it hostage. This is one we talk about a lot, where you want people to complete their post-event survey. How does that process work?
All right, so basically we offer 2 ways to do the post-event survey. One, which I found the nicer way, is during that heightened state of engagement, you send out the landing page and you include that survey inside there. It is listed below. We do find automatically you're going to get more survey responses without harming the customer experience or the attendee experience. You can make it a little bit harder. And if the survey responses are a must for you and you want to push it up to 90%, you can make it a conditioned field. Basically, to get your photos, you need to answer the survey, which is usually 1, 2, 3, or 3 questions. So both ways work. And
yeah. Okay. Last question. So question around what is generating those social captions? Is it ChatGPT? And if you pick the same emoji, will the same caption be generated for everybody that did that?
Wonderful question. No post is going to be the same. Every single post is going to be 100% unique. It is based on ChatGPT combined with multiple filters that we, as I mentioned, in the back end, the event manager selects the name of the event and a description. From the customer side, they choose the emotion that they're feeling. And from the photo perspective, that's just ChatGPT analyzing the photo and getting insights.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Shane. If you can hang out for us, we'll bring you back up in just a minute. Awesome. Thank you. John, are you ready?
I'm here. Hi.
Oh boy, oh boy. Welcome aboard, John.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to share what I've been working on. And yeah.
I'll let you take it away. Concierge is our SMS event text messaging platform that we get to use for Club Ichi. So John, tell them what it is and how it works.
All right, I'll start with just a couple quick slides. I like to call this the herding cats problem. You get, high functioning executives, business people, and as soon as they leave their office and they go to, a fun event like an incentive trip or a summit or a user conference, they get on site and they scatter. You got to herd them like cats. So as an event team member, how do you manage guest communications with folks while they're on site? There's this gap between you and your guests, and Concierge is built to help resolve that for you. So the existing communication tools you have at your disposal, like this is what I hear from event teams: print materials, PDFs, event apps, sending more emails, making phone calls to reach out to your guests. You put everybody in a WhatsApp group, or maybe you're texting people from your personal phone, or if you're on site, you're literally physically chasing them down to try and get answers to your questions or to try and help them. So Concierge is a texting platform built for event teams, and the goal is to close the communication gap between event teams and their guests with both scheduled and real-time text message updates before and during your event. So with texting. Everyone knows how to text. It works everywhere. There's no download required, no accounts to create, and people are always holding their cell phones in their hands. So it's close by. The outcomes that we're aiming for with Concierge: create a simpler communication system so you and your guests can communicate easily, save you time on site by helping build a communication plan via texting in advance of your event, and that your guests have a better experience when they're on site. So I'll jump into the platform. This is Concierge. It's a web app. It works on your cell phone, works on your desktop, and you can create as many events as you want. And each event has its own dedicated phone number. So think of it as like a texting hotline that people can they can call or text, but mostly texting. And each one has a QR code that you can initiate a conversation by scanning that QR code. So if you have signage or a registration desk or a hospitality desk, and you want to make it easy for folks to communicate with you and your event team, you've got this phone number that you can share it in your know before you go documents, any materials that folks might be using. So each event has a list of folks. This can integrate with your registration platform. So accepted RSVPs, registered guests, are imported directly, and a notification up there. And then each person, you can have a one-to-one conversation with that person. So once you've uploaded your contacts or imported them from your registration platform, you can see here on the left, all phone numbers are verified as texting capable. So if someone registered with their office phone number or there was a typo in their registration, you'll know whether those phone numbers are text capable, and also which country they're based in. So Concierge works with over 200 countries. You can text with international folks as well. So on the right-hand side, this is my iMessage, my cell phone. So you can see the conversation back and forth. And so in this case, I sent out a scheduled message just now, which was sent out to everybody on the list, just asking, hey, so imagine this is an incentive trip and you've got afternoon activities. It says, would you rather go golfing or participate in a sound bath? And, Paul is our example guest over here, and he says, sound bath for sure. So you can see if you're in the app, you get notified of those messages. If you're away from the app, you can get notifications via Slack or Teams or email or text on your phone when an inbound message comes to your event phone number. And then you can have these quick conversations with individual guests like that. And then I'll just quickly show broadcasts, or what we call scheduled messages, out to lists of people. So you've got different tracks of folks. You can communicate with them separately. You can create, for example, your sound bath list. And then you can say, we're going to communicate with folks on the sound bath list. So let's add some people. Paul said he's in to sound baths. And then we're going to say sound bath bus is leaving. And you can schedule that out to just the sound bath participants. You can send it out immediately or schedule it. Like, let's say we want that message to go out tomorrow at 9 a.m. Local time. And you can edit and change these messages up until the last minute. Last thing I'll cover is reporting. So we know, when we import contacts, we know who's going to be able to receive messages, who's not going to be able to receive messages. And every scheduled message that you send out has verification of delivery of those messages. So if there's any undelivered messages, someone had their phone turned off or was out of range, or it was a typo and their phone number, that kind of thing would show up, and you know to contact them or update their mobile number. That is Concierge in a nutshell.
That was awesome. Okay, so a couple of questions, because leave that screen up, don't take it down yet. My one was Paul answered sound bath, and then you had another list of sound baths. So did that automatically create, or how did you filter him into that?
We can set up, we can set up keywords that add people to lists automatically. didn't set that up for this one, but yeah, keywords, we can set up keywords in advance that pull people into lists that you can then communicate with.
Okay, beautiful. And then a question, does the app need to be open to receive the text?
No, you can set up, in your profile, you can say, text me when a contact sends an inbound message. And so let's just say Paul's over here and he says, right, he sends a message. Then this kind of type of notification pops up, not for Paul, it's confusing because I'm texting with myself, but you get the idea. Like as an event team member, you can get a notification, see that conversation with Paul, right from your cell phone.
Beautiful. So what Nicole and I do whenever we go on site to an in-person event, she makes a specific list with a specific QR code for that event. And it says something like, for a good time, text Nicole. And so people just pull up their phone and then they use the QR code and they get added to whatever list was created from that. And so when they send a text with their name, she's able to respond back and forth with them. But what I did not know, it sounds like this tool is a little CRM-ish in that if I log in as well, I can see the conversation she's having with them. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, you can see all the conversations that happen. If you're working as a team, it's really built for event teams. Often, 5 or 10 people might be working on the event together. So you can see who's having which conversations with which guests.
Awesome. And then on the reporting, so you said the keyword, it could pull it into other things. But if I was asking everybody, if you want to go to the sound bath or you want to go to the actual beach, in the reporting, I would be able to see their answers and then I can do my pivots and figure out who's signed up for what, right?
You can, yeah. For, each individual person, you can see, which list that individual person is on or which ones they're not on yet. I always say Paul actually is a very funny person. Like, let's add Paul to that list, right? As well as see what's their future experience going to be with messaging. So for an individual, which messages will they receive in the future?
Okay, awesome. And John, I'm not fully understanding, John Leese, your question. If someone changes their preferences after you created the draft list, will it pull the new person into the list to receive it?
Right.
If you want to come off mute and ask that, John.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, you've created this draft that you just showed us, right? It's waiting to go. You've scheduled it, but then some people change their preferences. Do they automatically get added to that list, even though you've created the list?
Oh, meaning like if they pick bath and sound bath versus beach and say, no, wait, I want to go to the beach.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
pick that up, or do you have to redo the list?
Yeah, for lists, if someone say like Paul says, oh, actually I'm sick, you can drop them off there. There's no like automated removal.
Okay.
No, but I mean, if they change their preference and they want to join now going to the beach, but they weren't on the list originally, do we have to then add them to the list?
Yeah.
Or does it automatically pull them?
No, it's not an automated process.
Sounds like that one would be manual. Yep. Okay.
Yep. Got it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks,
John.
yeah, the best use cases are things like incentive trips, executive retreats, user conferences, hospitality events.
Yeah, and we used it last night for our dinner where midway through the day while we were on the experience crawl, I needed to send out a note to everybody coming to the dinner. I was able to just pop in, log into it because the list had already been created, create a broadcast message and send it out to everybody. And so it was fantastic use of it. So, but this is definitely a one-way push out because like when we were doing our experience crawl yesterday, we had a group of 30 people. That was more of a WhatsApp thing because everybody was talking to each other and loading pictures. Whereas this is definitely going to be a communication out, correct?
Yeah,
like people can't talk to each other through it. They're only talking.
That's right. Yeah, all the messages. Right. So unlike a WhatsApp group where everyone's talking amongst themselves, which of course can be great for some communities, but for these types of events, it's all one-to-one communication between the individual guests and the event team.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thanks, John.
All right. Thanks for having me.
This was great. All right, everybody, I'm going to remove all the spotlights and let's see if anyone has any questions that you want to bring up for any of our presenters today.
So good then.
That was so good. All right, so Mike and Shane and John and Greg, do you have any way that you want people to get in touch with you? Can you drop in your LinkedIn's? Can you drop in links to your actual tools? And we will, of course, be putting those in the Club Ichi Slack channel and sharing it as well. But if you want to drop that in the chat right now, go ahead and do that. All right. Tools that you think that we should use. I mean, all 4 of these sound like an incredible addition to our tech stack. I'm really excited about them. Yay. Perfect. And if anyone has any offers, if the four of you have any offers you want to give to the Club Ichi insiders, we can also share that in the Slack channel as well. No pressure there whatsoever. But just a reminder that our insiders love their perks. I've got John Tucker's for Concierge. Perfect. I've got Greg's with Chance. Perfect. And then we will add in Mike and Shane's. There's Mike. Beautiful. And Shane, as soon as you drop yours in, we'll be good.
I think. It's a good thing my computer's deciding to freeze now.
That's what mine does too. Yeah. Peggy, John, thank you both for all the questions. Really appreciate the engagement there too. And if y'all come up with any other questions, all four of these folks can be found in Club Ichi, so we can make sure to get you in touch with them. And there you go. And Shane, don't worry about it. You can send me the stuff. I know exactly how to contact you, and I'll include it. So I'm going to drop all this stuff in the Club Ichi Insider Slack channel. Thanks everyone for joining us, and the recording will be on YouTube tomorrow. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your week. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.